Here comes the housing crash. Get ready. Do you remember during the fourth quarter of last year, many housing experts predicted home prices were going to crash this year? Well, let's chat about what really happened and what we can expect going forward. Is the crash still coming? Hi, I'm Charlotte, your Thurston County real estate broker. Here are a few of those forecasts. Jeremy Siegel, Russell E. Palmer Professor Emeritus of Finance at the Wharton School of Business. I expect housing prices fall 10% to 15%, and the housing prices are accelerating on the downside. Mark Zandi, Chief Economist at Moody's Analytics. Buckle in, assuming rates remain near their current 6.5% and the economy skirts recession, then national house prices will fall almost 10% peak to trough. Most of those declines will happen sooner rather than later, and the house prices will fall 20% if there is a typical recession. Goldman Sachs. Housing is already cooling in the U.S., according to July data that was reported last week. As interest rates climb steadily higher, Goldman Sachs Research's G10 home price model suggests home prices will decline by around 5% to 10% from the peak in the U.S. Economists at Goldman Sachs Research say there are risks that housing markets could decline more than their model suggests. Those were some pretty scary statements from experts, and the bad news is that it actually really rattled consumer confidence. These forecasts put doubts in the minds of many consumers about the strength of the residential real estate market. Evidence of this can be seen in the December Consumer Confidence Survey from Fannie Mae. It showed a larger percentage of Americans believed that home prices would fall over the next 12 months than in any other December in history of the survey. And that caused people to hesitate about their home buying or home selling plans as we entered the new year. The good news, home prices never crashed. Home prices didn't come crashing down and seem to actually already be rebounding from the minimal depreciation we experienced over the last several months. In a report just released, Goldman Sachs explained, the global housing market seems to be stabilizing faster than expected despite months of rising mortgage rates. According to Goldman Sachs research, house prices are defying expectations and are rising in major economies such as the U.S. Those claims from Goldman Sachs were verified by the release last week of two indexes on home prices, Case-Shiller and the FHFA. Here are the numbers each reported. Home values seem to have turned the corner and are headed back up. While these are national numbers, locally, we've been seeing this as well. When the forecasts of significant home price depreciation were made last fall, they were made with megaphones, and mass media outlets, industry newspapers, and podcasts all broadcasted the news of this, imminent crash in prices. But now, forecasters are saying that the worst is over, and it wasn't anywhere near as bad as they originally projected. However, this isn't being spread through megaphones like it was when it was a negative. They're actually just whispering the news instead of using that megaphone. They're doing this because those headlines just aren't as click-worthy. Remember, headlines are often scare tactics to get you to click on the link so that they can make money. And unfortunately, positive headlines just aren't really as click-worthy. So let's spread the word that the sky is not falling. The housing market isn't crashing. Quite the opposite, in fact. Housing prices are steadily increasing as buyers continue to return to the market despite the higher interest rates. Help me spread the word and share this video. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.